Yeah, I come back.
Hello.
Garrett? How are you? I'm Ben. Pleasure.
Ben with the side. Yeah. I have a seat.
How long have you lived here?
3 years.
3 years?
Nice to speak.
What kind of neighbors are these guys?
They pretty much keep to themselves, you know. They don't like people to park in their spots, but once you're out of their space, it's fine. Keep the neighborhood pretty quiet as well.
How?
If there's ever trouble in the neighborhood, they usually push them off to the end of the block.
What's the noise like? I mean, you have a lot. Do they party all the time? I mean, what? Why do you think?
The only noise is from the motorbikes, and it's no more noisy than any other block. Anywhere else that I've lived in New York has been just as noisy for other reasons. You know.
What kind of parties do they have outside in front? Do you ever see any gatherings in front? Anything like that?
Not in the last few years. About 3 years ago, they had a big July 4th party. That's the last one I've seen any major thing going on here.
The police are trying to take the building away, saying that they're making drugs inside or selling drugs. Have you ever seen any evidence of that?
No, I've never seen anything like that. They don't have a presence like that on the street that I'm aware of. And you don't see people coming and going that look like they're buying from them or anything like that. And I think they have a right to be here as well. They've been here for many years, and you know, they have their own little culture going, and I don't think they should be oppressed for that. And there's definitely no presence of any illegal going-ons that I can see anyway. So if the police are just being heavy with them, then they're being heavy in a biased manner unless they have evidence there they'll go on. You know.
Okay, great. Thank you. ABC, World News Tonight, Peter Jennings. What's the story with all this?
I'm a political artist. I'm from Ireland.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you know that band that I'm talking about? Rage Against the Machine? It's like a sort of.
Oh, you have a speak.
But this block,
here?
but this block is one of the safest blocks that you can imagine. There are little scrimmages here and there, but as far as having any kind of violence or whatever, that they're looking.
Something like this truck there.
It's minimal in comparison to other sections of the city. When somebody goes through the street at night, they go through with any kind of a noise.
You ever see any evidence of any drug sales, anything like that going on out there?
No. As a matter of fact, some of them have children, and when these buildings, before they got renovated, there was a high stoop, and any time they saw somebody who looks to fit, they give them the heave.
Why do you think the city's cracking down? Why do you think the city wants to do that?
Well,
They say they're selling drugs.
who?
Police say they're selling drugs out there.
So why don't they lock them up if they say so? They go, so where's the evidence?
That's
In other words, for example, you could call me a screwball because I'm telling you what I'm telling you, which is factual.
Right.
What they can call me a screwball. Who's to say who's a screwball?
Right.
And who's to say, unless you got the evidence solid in your hand, that to say I'm this or I'm that.
What about noise? What about parties? You know?
Well, you want to talk about noise too? Well, we'll start bringing up the so-called minority neighborhoods. They got noise.
These guys. What about from these guys? So these guys party. You hear noises from their parties. They bring the parties out onto the block.
No. The only thing is, well, like anything else, they got their motorcycles. Occasionally, they go through the streets. Well, this is a free country. What do you suppose? In other words, what the people say, I want freedom for me, not for you. It's not going to work that way.
Yeah. Okay, so you have no complaints about them.
As far as I'm concerned, they're more of an asset than a hindrance. Because if you need any kind of assistance, whatever it is, if they're in a position to help, they will turn you down.
What kind of assistance? What might you ask them for? You ever ask them for help for anything?
Yes. Perhaps it's not the same group. They come and go. I always had to take down a sleeper pull-out bed and it was, you know, a little heavy, so they took two fellas, came down there, and they pulled it out. That was the end of it. As far as the drugs are concerned, why doesn't the city of New York? I am the only guy alive today, since you put me on there. I'm the only guy alive today. My name was Jaime Rosanes. I was involved with San Franco, who was the alderman at the time, 6 years ago now. Yeah, we gave America public housing. Now, they're concerned so much with drugs, but these folks, why don't they go down to public housings and catch those son of a bitches? Right. And why should hoodlums live in city projects? It was not made for that. Up in 1950, any kind of conviction of criminal.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
But this is your liberal.
Yeah, that's good. We just need that little nugget. ABC.
Rudy.
Should we ask you one question?
Rudy.
Government does a lot of things that don't make sense.
So,
He might talk.
what do you think of these allegations? Why do you think they're coming out? Thank you for your time.
Any small statement?
Anything you want to say about the drugs?
What the hell is it called? Not the Academy.
All right, well, okay. Steve, what kind of neighbors are these guys?
I think they're great neighbors. You know, I was like safest block that I know about in New York City. You come here in the summertime, everybody's out all over the street, sitting on the stoops. You know, it's like it was years ago. You know, I know my neighbors. I know people down the block. I know people across the street. You know, we say hello. It's nice.
Right. How about at night? What's the situation like at night out in front?
Well, pretty much as it is in daytime. Like I come by, you know, we're closed at night usually, but you know, we come by, you know, do things in the evening, Dee or myself, and it's the same as it is as you see it is outside. It's pretty much that quiet year round. You know, occasionally the loudest thing you hear is a Harley Davidson. It's kind of good sound.
You never any parties going on out in front? I mean, there's been some complaints of excessive noise.
I think that was like what, about 9 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that, and there really hasn't been anything since that I know of. You know?
The government, the police saying that there may be some drug trafficking going on from that building.
Well, I tell you, I haven't heard or seen anything like that. You know, it's like the government likes to do a lot of strange things. My experience, you know, it's like if you read any of the newspapers thoroughly and you listen to news, you know, you realize that a lot of news is just advertising or promotions for what the government wants to say and doesn't want to say. And, you know, the government right now is doing a piss poor job of being a government. And the Angels, just like anybody else, are just misdirection of their faux pas in their life. I think it's just misdirection, the old sleight of hand game done on a grand scale.
And why do you think they're trying to take them? Why do you think they've had that building for over 20 years? Why do you think they're trying to take it away now?
Just creating an enemy for the public to hate. You know, they're trying to do that. You know, it's like if I believed everything that I've heard or, you know, read about, they're like dime novels. In the 1800s, you had dime novels, and they kind of get carried away with the exploits. Well, it's the same thing here. These guys, though, as far as I know, they like to get on their bikes and they like to ride their bikes and they like to have their own way of doing things. And none of it is illegal and none of it is, I don't know, hard to take. You know?
Have you ever seen any fights, anything like that? Any bullying?
Never. You know, I know people, like, if they say, if people want to take pictures or go too close to the bikes, they say, hey, get away from the bikes. And that's about as far as it goes. And I guess the reputation being what it is, that's enough. I mean, you don't need to do all that, you know.
And you think that you mentioned
It's harassment. I mean, it's obvious harassment. I mean, if you read the article in the Times, what they're trying to take the building is for something that allegedly happened like 9 years ago. I mean that's reaching. You're really reaching then, you know.
You said that they are a good presence in the neighborhood, but do you feel that they enforce? Do you feel that they're sort of enforcers, and that the peace on the block is a reflection of their presence?
They don't go about doing anything to the block. They don't say, "Hey, you get off the block," or "Hey, this." It just doesn't happen. You know, it's just one of those great phenomena. You know, Hell's Angels on the block and no crime is on the block. You know, so, and, I mean, once they go, if you know the government gets their way, if the Angels go, then so goes the neighborhood. It's basically that simple. You know, I'll be looking for another location if they go.
Why?
Because down here isn't a great place to have. So you see my storefront. I have no gates. I have no security. You know, these guys are, you know, good guys.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much.
It's nice.
Why do you think they're trying to come down so hard on you guys now? After 20 years of being here. I mean, the neighbors tell us great things about you. Why do you think they're choosing now? We've got to come back. Let's come back over. The neighbors all say the best things about you. Why do you think they're choosing now? They allege that there's drug dealing going on, noise.
I'm drinking coffee myself.
New York is trying to force you out. Where would you guys go if they did force you out?
What kind of neighbors are these guys?
They're great guys. I consider them friends.
What kind of presence are they on the street? What kind of...
I would say just from their image and reputation, they're a presence, but they're not outside doing anything extra for that.
Have you ever seen any? The police are alleging that there's drug dealings, that there's partying, noise. Any evidence of?
I've never seen any of that, and I don't think they would even let that happen. Like, I don't think they would go out and hang out like that, because they have a reputation, and that just it's gravity, you know. It would just add to that. The police would probably be on them all the time if they were flaunting it. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know?
Well, it's interesting because the police are choosing now. They've been living there for over 20 years. Why do you think the police are cracking down on them now?
I have no idea. I hadn't even heard of any of this, and I think it's pretty ridiculous. But it's the way things work. So.
How about the noise level from next door? Any?
The only noise is the bikes, and I mean, when this business first moved in here, it was loud. Now I'm immune to it, and now I can tell the difference between different types of engines. So I got an education in motorcycles.
Right. What do you think will happen to this neighborhood if the police and the government is successful in forcing them to abandon the building and relocate?
It'd probably become another crummy block on the Lower East Side. Right now, this is a really friendly block. I know more people on this block on a first-name basis than I do on the block where I live. I know more people that live down this block than I know in my own building. And that's because everyone feels secure and safe walking around here.
And yet before you said that it had nothing, that they don't do anything to enforce that sense of security. And now you're saying if they leave, it'll go with them. Why?
Well, I think it's obvious people know that they're here and aren't gonna start trouble on a block like that if they know they're there. I mean, just process of elimination. They're not here. People are gonna start, moving in.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Others? Yeah, Buzz. Where are you?